happen in the course of that day that will affect all three of them. Other questions, Joyce?
I'm really interested, Ellen, in your, I haven't read the book yet, but your ability to create characters from another culture. For many years out here, I didn't even feel I could write Californians.
Right.
And you lived in France,
yes.
so I'm sure that helped, but I'd love to hear...
It's really hard.
I'd love to hear, if reading it, I'm sure we're going to be aware of the French not just being people who speak another language, but who see the world differently.
That's right. So I did take this on kind of boldly, like I can create 3 French characters and create them in such a way that they will ring true, and the French are truly very different from us. And these are young French people, and you know, so I don't know a lot of 20 and 30-something French people. Although actually that's not quite true. When the girls were at the French school in Palo Alto, their teachers were all in that age range. But it was a leap of faith that, can I do this? Will I know that? When I sold French lessons, I got a 2-book deal from my publisher, and I had the idea for the second novel, which I sold, and the second novel takes place in Bali. And
that was my
I can tell you a little bit about that in a second. Business trip. And I had the idea that, all right, I'll keep doing this. I will keep creating exotic locations where I learn and know the culture. And I went and spent a month living in Bali last year, and I am in no position to know Balinese people or the Balinese culture. I had to do a ton of research. I am still struggling with that. Whereas 5 years of living with the French, and I did feel confident enough that I could put it on the page and make them ring true. So now, interestingly, now that I'm doing it with a culture that I really am not familiar with, I'm thinking, oh my God, what was I thinking? Like, get me back to France. It's a bold move, and I will somehow pull it off with a Bali novel. There's only one Balinese significant character in the Bali novel. The rest are, well, the major 2 characters are American. But in French lessons, I didn't worry about it so much, and it felt relatively easy. I also have a dear friend who I grew up with who moved to Paris when I did and has stayed there since then. So he is now probably more French than he is American. And I sent the manuscript to him well before it was published, and I said, can you please read it for all inaccuracies, not just French, because my French is certainly not perfect, but also cultural, city, things that are not accurate in the city, and whether or not the French ring true. And he was very helpful. There were a couple of expressions that I had completely wrong, French expressions, but he thought that I did a good job with the 3 French characters. It was a huge relief. But no, that is very difficult.